Hello everybody. Hello my DLD friends. Welcome back. I hope this year started very wonderful for you in good health and with tons of optimism. This will be an exciting year also for DLD. I'm happy to welcome you here for our first DLD Sync session in 2022. We have two exceptional speakers with us. Diana Verde Nieto, co-founder of Positive Luxury, a company that helps and certifies brands in their sustainable efforts. Bettina Fetzer, Vice President Communications and Marketing at Mercedes-Benz. And we are going to talk about luxury with them. An exciting topic with many different layers for brands and consumers. A very timely topic, as you will see in a minute. And I think we all can agree luxury is much more than a consumer-oriented rich lifestyle. Much more. It's more than beauty, quality, and design. Yes, these are known aspects, of course, but they are not longer sufficient. In an extremely changing world with scarce resources, we all have to get involved in a more relevant and sustainable life. We as customers should asking for transparency, for responsibility, and for sustainable products. And good brands need to show us that they are taking these issues very seriously. Isn't it an amazing chance for them to create innovation along new value propositions, change their ways of doing businesses, and for some even redefine what luxury means? For us at Curious People, isn't it fascinating to see and accompany the huge culture change big brands, often loaded with tons of tradition and history, have to undergo right now? Good brands are always interesting role models for societal change, and we can learn a lot of that. A brand that personifies luxury in the automotive industry is, of course, Mercedes. Everybody knows that Mercedes cars are stylish and super high quality. Today, we will learn how Mercedes is redesigning the future of mobility with regard to responsibility, to sustainability, diversity, and inclusiveness. But before we start the panel discussion, I would like to thank She's Mercedes today for supporting our DLD Sync series for a long time. She's Mercedes is the heart of a holistic initiative with which Mercedes-Benz is addressing women in a more targeted way. For 6 years now, the global initiative She's Mercedes is a platform dedicated to inspiring, connecting, and empowering women like you, hopefully like you, highlighting their unique success and creating a dialogue that transcends cultures, industry, and experiences. So please have a look at this short clip of some of the exciting collaborations we've done in the past years. Clip is on. So you see, we came a long way together, and it was always fun. We visited many countries, many cities. We got good new friendships and exciting topics. And of course, one of our biggest topics was always innovation. Now, I would like to call Bettina and Diana here with me. Let me start with a question for you. Bettina, Diana, you are both leaders in the field of luxury. You, Bettina, in a largely, of course, male-dominated industry. And you, Diana, have made a big name for yourself as an entrepreneur. Before we dive deeper into the topics about sustainability and values, please tell our audiences about what the female perspective means in your business and how the role of women has changed. The floor is yours. Please go ahead.
So who should start? Shall I start, Diana?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Please start.
Okay,
I'm
well,
Bettina.
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Steffi, for having us, and thank you for the flowers. We also loved working with the DLD over the last couple of years, and it's amazing to be here and to talk to the audience out there. First of all, I mean, we'll do our best here, guys and girls. I mean, when we're talking to the camera, it's super tough for us because we don't see anybody. We don't see your reaction. So we'll do our best to entertain you, to have a bit of a virtual coffee with you, and to provide you an interesting, or water, an interesting 60 minutes. To your question, Steffi, how has the female role changed? I'm not even sure it was, the female role as such has changed dramatically in our company and at Mercedes-Benz. I think it's more the company and the way company looks at diversity and promotes diversity, and the female role has changed. So I myself, I'm an example of a very diverse hiring for my job. I was I was super young. I was female. I had a 4-month-old boy at home when I was put on that job here, on this big responsible job. And I think our company was just pretty bold in doing that. And they looked at not at my CV primarily. They looked at the person they would get, and I think the attitude towards bringing diversity in your teams, to looking at different values than just the CV you bring along, to see what is and dig deep and see what is really needed for transformation. What kind of persons do we need for transformation, be it for sustainability, Diana, or all the other technologies that are falling on our tables these days. I think this is the major step we are getting, and with having more and more females in leadership positions in a mainly car man dominated area, I think we are becoming more diverse, and I think we're tackling those challenges with a good spirit and manner.
I mean, I totally agree with you. I think that first and foremost, thank you for having me actually as well, and it's great to be here today. And it's quite a difficult job to speak to the camera, but I am privileged to be on the other side of the screen that I can see is Bettina, who is not just a fantastic speaker, but actually somebody that is full of insights and quite innovative way of thinking. So I think we'll have a really good chat today. But I mean, the thing that from a diversity and inclusion perspective, when we started Positive Luxury, as you can hear from my accent, I'm clearly not British. Therefore, that was the first part of diversity and inclusion, was cultural diversity. And diversity comes in so many different shapes, forms, credos, and it's about that inclusiveness, that acceptance, and that way of fostering and accepting completely different mindsets of point of view and taking it for an advantage. I think that finally in 2022 we can say that probably FTSE 500 companies are finally embracing the fact that women are an asset. Diverse workforces are an asset, and that we need more diverse people. Doesn't really matter who, what, when, in boards, to be able to foster that innovation. Because today, in order to really look at sustainability and all these different issues that are pressing the world going forward, we really need to think about how can collectively we can make an impact. And I was very inspired by your story, Bettina, because Mercedes-Benz have to be a pretty avant-garde company to welcome you. And actually kind of working mom is not something that happens every day, and now it's happening a bit more often, but back then perhaps it wasn't that common. So I mean, I love to hear your experience in just when you're hiring a diverse workforce, how do you do it?
Mm-hmm. Good point. I'll talk about me personally first, because it's something that you will see that I'm quite passionate about. And I said that a minute ago, when I look at all the challenges ahead of us, we're in the midst of a huge transformation. And if you look at the people you need in order to transform a company, you need to have the best set of diverse people. And it doesn't really matter if it's women, men, young, old, what your cultural backgrounds are, as long as as you bring your specific your specific knowledge and your attitude and your personality to the table. And I can tell you, I'm just doing a personality test with my team, and I mean, there's various out there in the markets, and you can see that we're a bunch of pretty mixed people, and this is why we work so well, because everybody brings something else on the table, and we are the best when working together. So I think. Let me put it differently. When we started diversity in Mercedes-Benz and Daimler, we were pretty serious. We're a German company on increasing our female share of leaderships, and we accomplished a lot of things there. And we had to be very tough in the beginning, so we did give ourselves the famous quota. And the quota right now is that we have more than 20% in leadership roles are female. We will increase that share by 1% every year. And I can tell you that within my department, we're even talking about approximately 50%. So I think it was good as a start off, but now I see us more like, being a diverse team, benefiting from the diversity. You don't even think that accurately anymore about, is it, I'm hiring a female, male, and what nationality I'm hiring. It's someone who has to fit into the team and fulfill the needs that you have. Does it help that sometimes female drag females after them? Yes, maybe, because they have a bit more knowledge about what they're hiring. My boss, she's board member of Mercedes, has triplets at home. They are grown now, so they just turned 18 or 19. But still, I mean, she could relate to what she was hiring. And then when I applied for the position, I said, "What's in the job? Do you want someone who travels 24/7?" Then I'm not that I'm not the right person, because I didn't get a baby just in order to have a picture in my purse. And I said, if you're looking for someone who's tackling those challenges we have in a very open-minded and embracing way, then I'm your woman, and that's what we did.
I mean, this is it's great to hear you, because this shows how proactive and kind of forward thinking is the company. And I mean, I love to talk about luxury, because luxury brands make a difference every day because of the way that they think most of the time. So if we've seen through the pandemic that, for example, companies like LVMH has done, kind of all the equipment for COVID, and, have helped companies like Kering and L'Oreal in the reconstruction of, the Notre Dame and so on. And, Mercedes-Benz has been very much central to also the social good side of things. So with a view on climate action and social responsibility, how do you think that Mercedes-Benz is really kind of in the forefront of this movement going forward?
It's a big question. Diana.
I am inspired but all the stuff that I have read throughout, so I leave the floor here.
Yeah, but by the way, I'll come back to what you do for a living, because I think it's equally as inspiring in a minute. So okay, what are we doing? Let me start maybe with a different story first. First of all, why do we take responsibility as a brand per se? Obviously, you could always say because customers are requesting it from us these days, and to a certain degree, I would think yes, it's true. Customers want us to act responsible and sustainable. But I think it's for a brand like ours, and Mercedes-Benz is a big brand. We've been in the market, for 135 years. That is how long our history is. We have a social media reach of 140 million. Yeah, having that big voice, I think, is it can sometimes be a curse. Yeah, because a lot of things get attributed to you directly, but it's also an opportunity, and I think it's also a duty. Yeah, I think it's a duty of us actually to see the impact we can have. Yeah, to see the changes we can do, and we'll talk about luxury in a moment, and how maybe the luxury industry could even move a little bit faster than the non-luxury industry. So I think for us, it's a responsibility to be sustainable, and we took this up already a couple of years ago, and we have given ourselves not just a sustainability strategy, but we changed that around and said we actually need a sustainable business strategy. So, and this is what you probably have read about. We start from the sourcing of material to the way we produce cars, to the way that to the footprint that cars will leave on Earth when driving around, up to recycling of the cars. And we're looking at the whole value chain, and we gave ourselves pretty tough targets. We'll be investing some 40 billion in the next 8 years only on electric drivetrain technologies, because we want to be electric faster, and we think it's really the only way forward to become more sustainable and ultimately CO2 neutral.
Thank you very much for sharing this. And one of the things I have been reading about the company is the fact that you have the ambition of being totally electrical in 3 years, I believe. Is that correct?
The platforms, yes. All the specific cars by 2030. So one life cycle of a car.
Yeah, that is, it's fast. It's still very fast. And what is impressive about the business is how we started to talk about, diversity, inclusion, and then we talk about responsibility and sustainability and how the two married. Mm-hmm. And I love, the platform that you have created about She's Mercedes, because it marries the two. It's talking to women. It's talking to women in a different way without being patronizing, to be inclusive. Not to be. It's quite frightening as a woman sometimes to go and buy a car. I don't care not to 60 or not to 100. I just care that I can fit stuff in the boots, that my golf clubs fit in there. It's the practicality of it. And also that I can park it and it's easy. And, and the way that I feel that as a business, the responsibility from social responsibility from our women's inclusion, diversity, and then you have all the sustainability side. It's almost like it's all kind of morphed into one in a very, very strong way. And the word that is for me, the word that I can associate to your platform and the way you are approaching the movement is respect. And that is very, very strong and very serious and very powerful. So, can you tell us a little bit more about just Mercedes?
Yeah, it's funny you say respect, because it's one of our brand values, actually. So She's Mercedes is something we started nearly 7 years ago, actually. Steffi said it in 2015. And we're live in 70 countries, which is great, because it's not something that we only push from headquarters, but we said, hey, this is what we're doing. And a lot of markets said, actually, we love that. Let's pick it up. And it's a platform where we bring women together to inspire each other, to interact with each other, to think bigger, to build that networks that used to help us a lot in the last couple of years. But it's more than that. We also said we would like to learn from women, because being that since we used to be a male engineer-driven company, I would say we've changed a lot in the last couple of years. We also wanted to hear about what exactly you were just saying about the needs of women, and sounds a bit like we have specific needs, but we don't. But on the other hand, we do like to be approached differently. I can totally relate to what you were just saying. For example, when I bring my car to service, all I want to do is, go there, drop my key, or have someone actually pick up my key with the car, have a different car to drive around, ideally with a child seat in it already, and then, have it exchanged again in a day and sign a bill, which is transparent if my husband wants to know what I've done. But that's all I care about. When my husband goes to a service, he likes to talk about, he likes to talk with the engineer, I think for 1 hour about the specifics that will be done on the car. You know what? I couldn't care less. So we also looked about how would, women do service. How do we purchase a car? What do we look for when buying a car? Yeah. Like you said, engine variants, transmissions. I don't even know what kind of transmission we have in our car. Yeah, I mean, we're looking for different things, and we took that insights and tried to make our products, our communications, and our personal interactions with women so much better.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. I like to drop my key. I don't mind taking it. I like somebody to bring it to me.
Yeah. Yeah, because our luxury is time, right?
Exactly. And also, I don't really care what has been done. As long as it works, that's it. And they wash my windscreen. That's also something that is quite important.
And it has to smell good afterwards.
Oh, yeah, totally. And yeah, that's kind of it. And they fill the windscreen stuff with water, which I don't even know what it is. So yes, I think we
Mostly
agree.
under the front hood. I love that.
And I think this is what, luxury is about, or positive luxury is about. I mean, when we started Positive Luxury, we called the company Positive Luxury because the values of luxury today are very different from the values of luxury, I don't know, even 10 years ago. It's not about bling and, opulence and, kind of shiny stuff. It's more about craftsmanship, beautiful design, respect for people and the planet. It's about understanding how the product or the service interacts with the ecosystem, and how do you actually take it back and create this kind of harmonious interaction between the product and the service and the world, basically. And that's why we call our company Positive Luxury, because those are the values that we have signed up to. So I love to ask you, I mean, what is positive luxury for Mercedes? Because a lot of those kind of attention to detail, innovation in materials, incredible finish, it's very much part of your core brand values. So what's positive luxury to you?
I think from a product perspective, you're totally right. And we when we look at our brand, I told you before that we have brand values installed, but for us, it goes actually beyond the product. Yeah. So luxury for us is, as you said, the whole ecosystem. And we defined some luxury principles for ourselves, and we came from the customer because we said it's great, it's one side to say that what we think is luxury and what should be built into these cars, but we always said, okay, what do we want the customer to perceive actually? Because this is much more important. We should be a customer-centric company. Yeah, this is the person we're catering to, and so we gave ourselves some luxury principles, and he said, well, for us, luxury is first of all to give fascinating and surprising moments with the brand or the product that go beyond our customers' expectations. This is for us pure luxury if it's something where you think, oh wow, I wouldn't have expected this. Yeah, so this is the first principle we set, and it can be, by the way, in everything. It can be in the product, it can be in the way we treat people when they come into our showrooms. It could be an ad I put on social media, a collaboration idea where people say, "Oh wow, this is Mercedes. This is beyond my expectations." Then we said we want to provide an absolute seamless experience. It's very digital here to digital there to digital there to I'm not putting on more stuff good to physical back to digital, and we said we want this seamless experience. That's the second dimension. The third dimension was that we said we want to make sure that our customers are shown appreciation and they are catered to in a very unique and in a very individual way. So the high individualization of the approach for us is also absolutely luxury. If you and you have all the knowledge and data available, so I don't want to start from zero each and every time I get into contact with this brand. I would love this brand to know who I am, what my or what my desire is, what my challenge is. Therefore, it's this catering to this, personalized experience. And then we said, of course, luxury is about, and you said it yourself, about beautiful and extraordinary aesthetics. Luxury is always highly aesthetic. And then the fifth dimension, and that's something that lays on all, is that we say luxury for us is having the customer know that we treat them and our environment responsible. And this could be from the way we handle the customer's data to the footprint we leave on Mother Earth. So everything is really included into this. And these are the 5 luxury dimensions we look at. And as I said, it's a very broad picture, and it's far from bling bling or anything like that. But Diana, you have to tell me or tell our listeners and watchers a bit about what positive luxury does, because I think it's highly interesting. And we also use this butterfly mark that I think is just absolutely stunning.
Thank you. I mean, we subscribe to the same principles you do in terms of, we help companies to accelerate towards a new climate economy. As you know, in the center of great business is sustainability, which is the combination of respect for people and respect for our planet, while, increasing your bottom line in a respectful way. And this is kind of the new luxury. So we help companies in order to do that, and we assess them into an ESG plus framework, so environmental, social, governance, and innovation framework. And we take companies through this process, and at the end of it, they can actually understand what is the dynamic materiality, what are the impact and dependencies within the value chain, and what are the areas within their supply chain that perhaps they need to think about changing, modifying, asking more questions. And kind of every 2 years, we actually go back to the beginning and recertify them. In the meantime, they have the luxury to be able to use the butterfly mark to symbolize and to signal to people the fact that this company has been audited from a sustainability perspective, and what they say is actually legit instead of greenwashing, which now that sustainability is in the mouth of everyone, it's a lot of these, kind of being generous with actions. So that's what we do. And this is really what inspired me when I met you the first time. I was really inspired about the stories and the stories that you told me in terms of, like, if we talk about sustainability and we talked about the vegan movement, you considering that. When we talk about the innovation, you consider that. And then I'll handle the floor to you because you can explain it better than I can do. But what struck me about your brand is the fact that, all of the subjects that are happening in the luxury industry as a theme, and therefore in the consumer mind, are things that obviously automotive industry is actually taking on board, and companies like yours is actually moving. Okay, fine, 2030 is not tomorrow, but it's faster than others when you actually put it in perspective with the wider industry. So, I was blown away with the fact that you actually have vegan cars. That is awesome. And that's super cool. And the fact you will not tell the difference. So, I love to talk about innovation, sustainability innovation, because that's how, being German, I'm not stereotyping, by the way, but it's like, that's what you're famous for. So tell us a little bit more about that, sustainability and innovation at Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, thank you, Diana. obviously, people who are not related to the automotive sector listening in, they will probably think, as you just said, we're not moving fast enough. And also they might think that, it was time for, the automotive company and industry to make a move. And I think, and I can state that as open, because I'm a very open and honest person. Yes, it was time for us to move. Yeah. I mean, we were part of, I would say, part of the industry that created a problem, but we were, one of the industries that has a footprint on Earth, and therefore we took this challenge super serious. Yeah, and I think this is what comes across when you read through all the German, very thought through 300 pages of our sustainability report. It's a lot we do, yeah, and it's really every small piece we're tackling and all the big pieces we're tackling, and all of it, brought together, only brings the picture where we're going. And you said it yourself. I mean, yes, we are using. I mean, when it comes to materials, we're experimenting big times. We're using recycled PET bottles for seat covers or for interior foldings. We have vegan leather. We have actually leather also from is it Milo? So from a root-based mushroom that we're experiencing on, from bamboo. I mean, there's all kinds of things, but it's a small part of what we're doing, and then it's everything on resource preservation. And our plants will be CO2 neutral from this year actually onwards. We are reducing our water consumption by 30% and our energy consumption by 40%. So we set ourselves really tough targets. Yeah, we have targets for. I mean, we're already 95% recyclable today, but there's how do we tackle those last 5%? But then it goes on to road safety, to data responsibility, human rights. So all of those areas are actually covered in a huge sustainability and responsibility organization, and it's a challenge, yeah, because it's a huge truck that needs to be moved. I mean, up until a couple of weeks ago, we were still, the Daimler AG that employed 300,000 people. We had our own plants. We had we have plants where people are working on, transmissions for engines nowadays that will not be needed in 5 years down the road. So for us, it's always a responsibility is for us something. It's a balance between ecological, social, and economic goals. Yeah, and I think this should never be underestimated for a company that big, that you cannot go for that you cannot go fully sustainable, because then obviously you will have a challenge on your social responsibility, also towards your workforce, or you will sacrifice your economical goals, and you will not be able to invest into new technologies again. So it's an everyday balance and struggle to get the right mix, and it's a huge transformation. This is what I said, to use only one life cycle of a car. A life cycle of a car is 7 to 8 years, and equally long than normally the development span is. So it's more or less one life cycle until we want to be fully electric. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's like you said, it's a really fine balance between excellence and sustainability, and then also the issues of scaling this, so sustainability and innovation and scale. So, I mean, one of the questions that the public is asking is, how can you scale sustainable luxury for unsexy industries? I'm not really sure what unsexy industries are really, that delivers true impact in reducing carbon emissions. So I'll tell you what, I mean, where I sit working across the luxury industry, I think that the unsexy industries is everything, because everything is farming and or mining. Everything that we eat, we wear, what we drive comes from the soil or, mining. So we need to start from there and going back to basis. So I feel that there is no such a thing of unsexy industries. I think that, kind of industry is industry. And actually the most sexy thing that you can have today is this really profound relationship with the soil and with a planet in that way, from a soil perspective, and then build it all the way up. So, kind of when you look at scale, sustainable luxury at scale, and how can we reduce emissions? I love to take your take from an automotive perspective of how you do it. And then I can tell you from the other side, which is like, beauty and fashion and travel and hospitality, how we do it here, because I'm sure that there is a lot of parallels that we can learn from each other.
I would, I'm also not quite sure what an unsexy industry is. Let me answer the question a little bit differently, and then you can tap into the other industries. Being a marketeer and a comms person here, I take it as one of my major responsibilities of my daily job to make sustainability sexy. Yeah. So we were conducting studies, the last couple of years on a regular basis in different countries, and we are widespread on the global planet, and we came to the conclusion that a lot of especially luxury consumers are not particularly interested in buying sustainable goods yet for the sake of being sustainable. So for them, it was a hygiene factor. It was something where they said, well, if my neighbor will look at me in a bad way because my product is not sustainable, this might be the reason I'm switching, but I'm not buying a product just because it's sustainable. Yeah? So this was what the results have shown us. And there were two ways of tackling this challenge. The one way would have been to say, okay, then we don't do sustainable products. But this was not part of our, deepest belief. We said, no, we want to be a sustainable company with sustainable products. This is, the backbone of, us as inventors. And then we said, okay, how can we then make sustainability desirable? And this is part of my job. I said, okay, it's part of also, our chief design officers to make, a beautiful EQS, our newest flagship, fully electric flagship, just a damn hot product. But then it's my job and my team's job to advertise it in a way that people say, oh my God, this is the hottest shit. I want to have that. Yeah? And therefore we worked a lot on, what is progressive luxury? How does it look like? What will be appealing to the people out there beyond sustainability? So this is what my team is really working hard on, to make sustainability desirable. And I think so far with, the whole shift of our Mercedes EQ brand, electric intelligence, is that we managed quite well. And these products are desirable. And I think this is the only way forward, because again, coming back to the first question, we take it as part of our responsibility.
It's very interesting because, when you look at the entire fashion industry or the entire luxury industry, whether it's fashion, beauty, watches, is exactly the same thing. It started like, everybody thinks that sustainability is about the youngsters. And the reality is that this generationless, like it goes across generations, and everybody wants to do the right thing, buy the right product, drive the right car, and have their contribution towards the world and the goodness of the world. And I think that, this movement, the sustainability movement, of course, kind of is like wildfires. You have many, many, many fires in every part. And now what is happening is becoming kind of a big fire or like a big voice, because everybody is doing and talking about kind of this as part of life, as part of how we can move forward together. And one of the things that somebody that actually worked at Mercedes-Benz just sent us a question on these matters. You are a role model for her, and she likes to be like you, and she kind of, and have your position one day. So watch out, I think. But she's saying that, as she's young and she's an intern, and she feels that sustainability is very much part of her beliefs and her core beliefs. But then she's challenging the 35 to 65, which is perhaps our age group, and closer to 65 and 35, that might not be as open to actually change their consumer behavior, because as they're older ideas, because they have older ideas and values. Do you think this is true for where you sit?
It's a little bit what you also said, that it's might be easier to convince younger generations because they're more aware of our challenge today. I would say to a certain degree, yes, you might be right. Younger people are maybe a bit more aware of it, but then I will also say younger people have parents to convince, so you can work on that. And then again, the job is back to us. I mean, it's inform and inspire, right? I mean, inform about what the challenges are, and then inspire and show the benefits, the beauty, the desire of being sustainable. And I think the minute where we get people actually experiencing sustainable luxury by themselves is normally the minute we convince them, and the minute we bring them over. So I think yes, it might be a bit more challenging, but I think we can tackle it. And then again, it's also a little bit ultimate, right? I mean, we decided we'll go full electric by 2030, so people better get used to it. Oh, and thanks for your nice words on me being an inspiration. Thank you so much. Whoever you're out there.
I mean, I think that's the thing, is like some of the things you can ask questions and you can invite people to be part of the journey. Some of the time, in order to make real change, you just need to put the solution in front of them and said, okay, this is the way now, and just this is a better way, and consensus have been agreed that this is the way forward. Like happened with the ozone layer, I don't know, 30 years ago. We need to cut some of the greenhouse gases from aerosol. We banned those. Our ozone is now healing, which is phenomenal that we have achieved that in our lifetimes. So, there is hope and there is changes. There has to be a pull and push between hard legislation, which is actually finally starting to come, kind of faster and faster. And the other one is volunteer stuff in terms of doing the right thing for the right reasons. But I was going to say something about the young generations to you, because you have a young son, and what you need to look forward to, he's an alpha. And what you need to look forward to is the fact that alphas are to sustainability for what millennials were to digital. So you will be deeply challenged. He will question your consuming habits. He will challenge you on your recycling activities. And perhaps he might actually ask you to change your chocolate spread when he finds out the relationship with palm oil and his favorite chocolate. So,
my future.
I wish I was joking. Just wait probably for about a year and a half, and then you will start being challenged with these questions, because the young generations they're growing up with sustainability totally embedded into their thinking. And actually, this is what they read. This is what they consume. It's in the media. It's everywhere. And
but that's great, Diana, isn't it? I think it's great. Yeah, I mean, that generation will look after their planet, and I think it's absolutely amazing. And I'm looking forward to him challenging me. I mean, he's only 3 now, but I can tell you that at his nursery, they were already doing sustainability courses, and I'm not joking here. So they're learning about nature and about nature preservation, and even his, okay, mothers out there, my son is 3, and yes, he's allowed to watch cartoons every now and then. And as most of you know, that there's a cartoon out there called Paw Patrol. And even within Paw Patrol, there is actually a character who talks about recycling. Yeah. So I think it's amazing. Yeah. In Germany it goes, nicht verschwenden, wiederverwenden, which is, I think, brilliant. And this guy keeps on saying, don't waste it, reuse it, don't waste it, reuse it. And this is his character of this little puppy dog in Paw Patrol. And you know what? I think it's brilliant that we have that. And am I fully living sustainably yet? No, I don't. Do I make an effort? Yes, I do. Will my son challenge me making more effort? For sure, but I'm, looking forward to it.
I mean, seriously, I don't have kids, but some of my friends send me their kids when they have questions like, for example, why only cute animals get funding? I mean,
good point.
I was like, yeah, okay. So, it's just, they're much more aware of these things. It's like he loves alligators and he wants to make sure that alligators get as much funding as pandas.
Did you answer with dopamine and oxytocin? No, I'm joking.
Honestly, but this is the thing. It's just like, they are asking questions, and they're asking questions about what mom buys, how mom lives, what dad does, which car you do. Yeah. And the electrification is one, which is good. A big one, because it goes from turn your lights off, which they learn at Peppa Pig and all of those, to it have to be electric. So, it's everywhere. I was going to ask you about electric. So one of the participants is asking, what makes you think going electric is the solution or the right solution, replacing an effective technology while the energy storage remains unsolved? Is that given on green populism?
No, I don't think so. Therefore, it would be very expensive if we would just do it for green populism. We have had a energy discussion in this company, actually in the whole automotive industry, very vehemently for the last, I would say, 5 years. And if you know a little bit about automotive industry, there was always a battle on what will be the future technology. And it was a bit of a hen and the egg problem, yeah, because and it was also a bet on the future, yeah. I mean, this is what we're doing here. We are betting on the future, and I can tell you that Mercedes-Benz in the next 8 years will be betting 40 billion euros on the future. So this would be a very expensive adventure if we would just do it for greenwashing. Will it be the right technology? I hope so, yeah, because all of the companies are now jumping on this train. Have we done really thorough research on all aspects of battery technology? Yes, we have. So we were looking into how complex is the technology, how fast will it progress, what is the storage capacity, how is that evolving, the battery density, and also how do you recycle batteries in the future? So we looked at the whole value chain, and this is, the bet on the future that we have taken, that I would say 95% of the other companies have taken. There's still a little bit of experimenting with hydrogen, yeah, which we actually were one of the last companies to give up on it, because for a long time it looked as if it would be the better technology, but it didn't. How do you say that? It didn't manage to get through, and then at one point you have to, take the chance and take all the facts you had on the table, and again, believe us, we did thorough research and said, okay, this will be the most sustainable technology for mobility in the future.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. It's like when you think about electrification and the speed that we need to move, it doesn't really matter if you have an electric car today, because you don't have the infrastructure
Yes.
moving fast enough to actually be able to have an electric car. So the retrofitting that it has to happen at a global scale, it's huge. So when you think about the pace, I think the pace of car production, it will be faster that the pace of engineering cities in order to have electrifying grids to be able to actually power those cars. So I think this is great that this conversation.
But all the prognoses are going in that direction, by the way.
Yeah.
And that's all we're doing, looking at prognosis. Yeah. Prognosis.
I mean, my question for you is about energy poverty, because obviously in the global north, it's very easy. I mean, we are overall, we don't have energy poverty. But when you look at the global south, you do have that energy poverty looming to them. So how would you reconcile that side of things?
I think it will just they will just be far slower into adapting to that new way of transportation. We could see that already today, and this is also what I said in the beginning. I think the luxury industry, in that case, we can move faster, and this is also why we should move faster, because countries with energy poverty, they will not be able to move faster. I think they will be steps and years after us, and I think that's there's no way around it. Yeah? It's just a fact-based development.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
What is your expertise on it? I mean,
for us, when we sit, it's exactly the same. It's like, electrification is definitely probably the number one solution, and then you have green hydrogen, perhaps for heavy duty or more heavy duty type of transportation, like jet fuel or boats and things like that. But again, the storage. It's the problem, because, you need to liquidize it and then you need to store it. So, and with that comes a lot of things. So electrification, we need a 2050 roadmap. 2050 is around the corner, and we are pretty much advanced on electrification more than anything else. So, yeah, I mean, the terrible story for me is that I used to have an electric car, and the infrastructure in London is not there, so I had to sell it and go back to the alternative.
Combustion.
Well, terrible. I'm dying to have an electric car now.
but it's coming. Don't worry, it's coming, and it's coming in fast speed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also charging times are developing faster and faster. Yeah. So all of the technology and on the different areas has to pick up. It's not practical if you have to charge for 5 hours in order to be able to go for 100 kilometers. Yeah. So fast charging has to develop, storage has to develop, infrastructure has to develop. But I mean, we looked at, again, 385 prognoses for all the different factors, and this is the business plan we come up with.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And the thing is, you've got a platform in which you can have sustainability. You speak to women, which when we make decisions in terms of what to buy, we actually will gravitate to more sustainable solutions, because we are interested in this caring piece, perhaps. I wouldn't say a lot more, but we actually consider this, and it's really great when you find an automotive company that actually speaks to you in a language that you can actually understand, not just like in a language that you can't connect with. So yeah, I mean, it's really inspiring. I mean, and I want to ask you, I mean, what makes you get out of bed without coffee?
Nothing. I do use my coffee. No. What makes me get out of bed? It's a very good question. You have to answer it as well, and maybe Steffi as well. And you can. Your dog, probably, Steffi.
The luxury of living in the country and need not much. That's a big luxury in our time. But I have to tell you, you little girls, you both couldn't be my daughters. I'm very inspired by your talk, and it was an informative talk, lots of information. However, I wish a future where we won't talk about sustainability anymore because it's totally implemented. But still we will talk about luxury. Luxury is so much in our desire for luxury, whatever luxury is, whether it's a fast car, a sustainable fast car, or it's the quietness in the mountains, or it's standing up with a cup of coffee and being happy. This is a luxury situation. I think luxury has to do a lot with happiness. And the pursuit of happiness is something we all should unite to go ahead for it. And therefore, the talk of you both, I marked my calendar. Let's talk in 2 years again. What happened and what will happen. And how you are. How you made it, how you get this sustainable, so relevant efforts in your life, in the life of your customers, in the life of your families, in the life of your colleagues. I think it's very promising. It's only the beginning that we talk about luxury and sustainability, but I'm looking very much forward to the end of it, to the end of the discussion. Sustainability will be like air, normal, or like energy, normal, whatever kind of energy. So my dear Zuschauer, participants, my dear speakers, I'm very happy about this talk. Really, it gave us so much food for thought. Let's continue. Let's integrate other players in our talk about luxury and sustainability. I think it could be a wonderful network. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us. Thank you for talking with each other. Participants, thank you for joining the DLD Sync, the first DLD Sync in the year. It's a great community. I owe you something. Thank you. Ciao.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Diana. Thanks, Jeffy. Have a good day.
Yes, you too. Bye.